G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, this morning I've been doing some metal casting, or metal melting I should say, aluminium in the new furnace, and it's a good example of why you really want to be careful when you're thinking about mixing your aluminium metals together, and how aluminium can vary enormously, enormously. There's just so many grades of aluminium. I think there's more grades of aluminium than there are of steel. And this is a classic case of where you can come unstuck. Now here's a shot of some aluminium I've got put aside to melt down. It's all different, but there's one thing pretty much in common about the whole lot, and that is it's all pretty much been castings. There's a bit of aluminium cable there which isn't. I'm not sure how I'll use that, but generally the golden rule is if it's been cast, it'll be okay for you to cast. If it's been extruded, watch out, because it can be really, really poor grade aluminium, and it can be basically non-machinable. And that's basically what's happened this morning. I picked up some aluminium off the side of the road, and I was a bit dubious about it. I thought it's extruded, and I thought, I wonder. So, but there was quite a bit. There was a few kilo there, so I'll show you what I got. So here it is, aluminium extrusion, rectangular section. Oh, it's got a nice finish on it, but when you look at the end where it's been cut, it's got a dull sheen to it which rings bells, and I've been caught out with extrusions before. Now these were blinds, like window blinds, that hung down with a cord through them, and I got about a dozen of them, I think. There was quite a bit of weight there, you know, it wasn't worth passing up. So I cast them up, and yeah, I'll show you what happened. So here's the old workhorse. It's been earning its keep. Yeah, that's that Banggood insert. It's a good insert for aluminium, if it's decent aluminium. This is not decent aluminium, this is garbage. So here's the end result. It all looks like any other piece of aluminium, you know, from the outside. You know, good weight of aluminium there. You go and buy that, that'll set you back a bob or two. It's straight from the go-get. When it came out of the steel mould, I was thinking, I don't think this is going to be any good. It's got a real feathery, sandpapery feel to it. That's a real giveaway that it's not going to be any good. And whereas normally you wouldn't get that. That one's the same. It's got that sandpapery feel. Normally it'd be quite smooth. But anyway, I thought, well, I'll chuck it up. That's why I milk this stuff separately and test it before I, you know, unless it sort of dribs and drabs and I'm, you know, just take a chance. But it's a big quantity, trying to keep it separate. And if it's no good, well, you haven't polluted all the rest of your aluminium. So they're the bits I got this morning. And here it is after I machined it. Absolute shit. Look at that. I'll come in close. Now I machined this back quite a bit. I've gone through, you know, good eighth. I used the Banggood aluminium inserts on it, on the section here. And here I just used a TCMT, general purpose insert, to see what effect it had. And you can see what it's doing. It's just tearing up. Now I did this with kerosene on it as well. Give it the best possible chance. Now it's got a bit of a hole in it. But it just turned up like shit. That's all you can say. So that is total crap. So all that's good for is going down the recycle centre and get some money for it. Next time I'll take the bottles down, I'll just chuck these in a bag and take them down. That's the trouble with any form of extrusion. So here's a bit here. What's it like? Huh, looks good when it's extruded. But when you melt it, how good is it going to be when you try and machine it? it can be like this. Exactly like that. And once again, this looks good too. Yep. So once again, my advice is if you're going to melt down extrusions, melt some, try machining it before you do the whole lot and before you mix it with anything that's cast, because you may be disappointed with extrusions. Looking at this, the way it's machined, I can only assume it's got a really high zinc content in there. Or, yeah, I mean, it looks like really high zinc content. It could have a lot of silicon in there too, but whatever's in there, it's screwing up the machining no end, and yeah, it's not suitable. So there you go. Stick to stuff that's been cast. You know it's been cast. Generally, it has to be machined after it's cast. Yeah, it gives you all the good indicators that it's going to be okay. But as I said, extrusions, try them at your own risk. You could get lucky. It could be all right. You don't know. But in this case, absolute rubbish. Okay, that's it from me. See you next time. Cheers.